Hi everybody, and welcome to this tutorial, and we're going to draw clouds and God's rays. And this is my pre-study. You can see it here. I also put in a goose there, and I want to check out the gray values. Those are very important, of course. And here you can see the simple composition of this drawing. And the original was an etching made by Mr. Bracquemond, but what I want to focus on is are those God's rays. You can see them here at the center, so it's a diagonal composition, and you can put in some geese if you want. Now this was my inspiration. The original is an etching, as I told you, and you can see the rays coming down from the sky. And maybe there was a storm that is heading away or towards us. I'm not sure. And what I also did is for my Patreons, of course, I made a print for them so they can see very easily what is going on here. Where the darkest values are and the lightest values. And whether or not you want to draw in the geese, that's up to you. But the main point of interest for me is those Godrays by Mr. Bracquemond. So let's get started. I will give you an impression of how I would approach a magnificent skyline like this. A sky with the rays and what I do is I first put in the horizon line, which is only a quarter of our complete drawing. And through that horizon line, I draw in the little, it's kind of like a bridge or something. And I thought that was a very nice element, so I want to keep that. And then I have a very big space of the part for the clouds. Now this is the first cloud on the left side, which is darkest. Then we have a part that is a little bit lighter. And then again there is a very dark cloud. So I'm simply pointing these out with very simple lines. And this is our horizon line. And on top of that horizon line, there is a big stroke of all kinds of trees and bushes, and I thought that was very nice too, so I want to keep that in my drawing also. So we kind of get a skyline of trees and bushes, and that's all. And what I wanted to focus on is the values. So for instance, 0 for zero light and 10 for the maximum light. And these are the three values that are in the shiny, sunny part, if you want. And these are the three values that I will have to put in for the shadowy part. So, I've put in a very quick rough sketch for the ground below. And now it's time for me to focus on the sky itself, which is so impressive. And what I do first is I take my charcoal pencil and my Panpastel knife. And the Panpastel knife is some kind of a palette knife, what painters use, but there's a little sponge on it. And I use it as a blender for my charcoals. Now on my Patreon page, of course, you can draw along with me in real time, and the complete drawing took me about 1.5 hours. So it's not much, but then you can watch in real time. And here I am already deciding the area for where my main God's ray will be. So that will be this part, and you can see there's also a little bit of light that is casted upon the grassy land below. And on the left side everything is covered in shadow. And so that is my basic approach for this beautiful landscape. Then I can put in the railing of the bridge a little bit better. And well, maybe there's a stream going through the landscape or something. So that's very nice. And from here, now that I have everything standing there where I want it to be, now I can start to put in the values even better, and I can get some detail into the clouds. Now here the top right is also dark, and the whole mid area, which is diagonal, is the lightest part. So also here on the right side I use my Panpastel knife to get a beautiful even effect. And this is my Koh-i-Noor pencil eraser. And the pencil eraser can be used for a little detail in the clouds. So this is a very, very nice way of drawing. And in the dark area, here on the left side, that is not all dark, but there are gray values also in those dark areas. And one cloud is moving in front of another. So there's a lot of movement in the left side. And here in front, I use my charcoal pencil in this manner, and in that way I can easily put in some detailed grasses which are right in front of us, because everything that is right in front of us is of course nearby, and I can put in a lot of detail. I've chosen not to draw in the geese, but I simply put in some tall grasses here to create a form of depth and 3D. Then I use the Panpastel knife again for the shiny cloud, the cloud that is shined upon, which is much lighter than the clouds that are on the left side. The kneaded eraser is also very nice, and I use that to pick up some of the pigments in the dark area, and in that way I can get that cloud effect even in the dark area. Every time that I've been rubbing into my paper, I draw back out the God's ray that is in the center of my drawing, and it's a beautiful diagonal line. And here now I can put in that dark pole that is in front of that God's ray that is hitting the land, the meadow, or the grass area way in the back. So now I get a high contrast between my whitest white and my darkest dark. And it's exactly that makes the drawing very exciting to watch and to draw, of course. But because of the big, huge contrast between the white and the black, this image is, even though it's only an approach of Mr. Bracquemond, it makes it a very, very interesting to watch. And here you can see my pencil eraser moving around in the grassy part in front. And so that's a great tip too, to use your pencil eraser for the grasses, But you can also make some of those flary clouds that are shifted around by the wind. So you can create some flares there in the sky. So a pencil eraser is a very, very nice tool to have. And I can really, really recommend the pencil eraser to you. I use it all the time. Kneaded eraser is very nice too. As you can see it here, you can pick up some pigments from your paper and lighten up bigger areas. And I love them both. I also have a standard eraser, but I use it mostly for drawing with them. So not especially for correcting little mistakes that I make, but mostly for drawing. You can see it here once again. I'm drawing some grass and some light upon the poles and the railing, and it's just amazing. It's an amazing tool. And when I think I'm finished, I also use the pencil eraser just next to my ruler, and in that way I can clean up my drawing, so I get a nice clean picture of what I have been doing. So here you can see it. I'm simply cleaning this up, and what you get then is a lovely, lovely drawing. By the way, I was drawing on newsprint paper. Very, very cheap indeed. Well, I hope that this drawing will inspire you, and please give it a try, and I hope to see you again, not next week Friday, but the Friday on today. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you again. Take care.